Welcome to New York's Finger Lakes as the Challenge Series freight train makes its annual stop at Watkins Glen for the CloudCloud Empire State Road Race. This is the final road course event in the Summer Series, and once again, just like last week, Charlie Falkner could lock that championship today and get the $2 million. He just needs to finish within 5 positions of Riley McKee, and that will be that. McKee won't be able to catch him on points, so pay attention to the 85 and the 22 today. In other news, Lee Schmidt received a 15-point penalty for his caution contact with Bobby Savage last week at Flemington, but that was a sideshow to the staggering 50-point penalty Thomas Culler received after wrecking Ruby Carson late in that race. Officials paid special attention to not only the recklessness of the move as he right rear hooked her, but the circumstances in which it was, because that crash was on lap 196 of 200, and his teammate Riley McKee, the same Riley McKee that is trying to chase down Charlie Falkner in the Summer Series, was running second, trying to catch the eventual winner, Kendra Brittany. And that was enough for the officials to give him the book. So HQS Racing has filed the appeal. So while the appeal is being examined by the National Motorsports Board, the point penalty is temporarily rescinded. If the penalty is upheld, then they really do lose those 50 points. But until then, they remain with the points haul they start today. And then that decision should come out before the race at Pocono, so HQS Racing will know more or less the fate of the O2 car by the race at Pocono by next week. Last but far from least, following the discovery process, the S2 Motorsports and Simpson Spark Plugs lawsuit is gonna come to a conclusion. Because we have been following this lawsuit since the start of the year, if you recall, and the suit's gonna head to court-ordered arbitration. The reason being, emails from Simpson Automotive executives essentially had them admitting that pulling the sponsorship out from the 28 at the end of last year was, and I quote, legally shaky. With that on the table, Samsung Spark Plugs, Samsung Automotive, the parent company for Samsung Spark Plugs, simply did no longer have a case, which leads to the arbitration, which will lead to a negotiated settlement. So that case will now move from the open courts to a private negotiation room, and now we're gonna have to wait for that settlement to be hammered out, which, regardless, is a massive win for S2 Motorsports and just removes this unimaginable burden from the backs of everyone in that team, from the team owner to the jackman, from the cleaning lady to the secretary of Marcus Stanton and Matthew Stern. It just doesn't matter. Everyone in there, from driver to owner to crew member to mechanic, they just must be feeling over the moon over this outcome, because they fought for what they felt it was right. They felt they were wronged when that deal was pulled out at the end of last year, and as it turns out, the court has proven them right. They were right all along. They have won. So honestly, just a great outcome for them, and we can see that if depending on how the settlement goes, S2 Motorsports might get a new pep in their step. We'll see what happens. This story is just not quite over. But let's now talk about this race, because we got quite a few surprises in the starting grid. Starting at the pole position is Corbin Dempsey, a driver that we do not tend to associate with road course prowess. He's a hard-nosed short tracker, not afraid to use bumpers, and alongside him is Charlie Falkner, another short tracker, and then his son Ryan Falkner starts in third, another short tracker, and then Lucy Martin starts fourth, another short tracker. In row 3, the last driver to get the qualifying bonus points is Riley McKee, a driver that we do know is very good on road courses, maybe not as good as he is on super speedways, former tryhard 500 winner by the way. And Luke Pellerin starts on his outside, while Lee Schmidt, another short tracker, with Thomas Tucker, a driver that we would consider a short tracker until he came back from rehab in the challenge series, and it seemed like road courses became second nature to him. If you recall, last year he won a Road American commanding fashion, fought for the win in Road America this year against Becky Pellerin. So Thomas Tucker having a now unsurprising, very good result in qualifying. This race is gonna be 82 laps, 201 miles. And we expect the fuel window to be around 32 to 37 laps. However, here's the problem. There's an 85% chance of rain. And just like what we saw in Mosport, and that was a very fun race to watch and to call, the problem is the tires, because the rain tires do not survive as long as the fuel run. So if it starts raining and it rains for a prolonged period, then this is gonna be a little bit messy. You're gonna start seeing very crazy strategies, people trying to short pit, people trying to hang on to the tires they have, people staying on dry tires for a while that they should not stay on. We can see a lot of gyro gear wheel strategies going on today in Watkins Glen if the rain hits, and it hits for as long as it can hold. Before we do go to the track for the green flag, Watkins Glen is a 2.45 mile road course. We are running the short course, which we don't know if it's gonna be the last time we're gonna do it. We have been having rumors that they were gonna use the boot in this track for years now, but they haven't materialized. I hope at one point it does, because this track has 5 right-handers, 5 left-handers, very quick circuit, laps around 1 minute and 10 seconds. So for a track that is almost 2.5 miles, it is just about like 20-30 seconds slower than Daytona, and Daytona's a super speedway. So it's a very interesting, very fast and winding circuit. I'm sure you're gonna love this race, because this is what stock car road racing is all about. This is Watkins Glen, this is the Finger Lakes, this is the Empire State Road Race. Let's go trackside for the green flag. The pace car leaves for the inside to the pit lane. Corbin Dempsey has the field under his control. The green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in Watkins Glen. 82 laps, 200 miles, and Dempsey already hanging on for the lead, but Charlie Falkner having a fantastic start. He's gonna use the outside, try to take the lead already. Is it enough? No, they're still side by side, very evenly matched. But here they come to the S's, and still very evenly matched. That's a quirk that I was not expecting us to see here in Watkins Glen. And finally, at the exit of the S's, Charlie Falkner leads the way over Corbin Dempsey. In second, third place is Ryan Falkner as they chase down the 85 down to the bus stop. Riley McKee coming down to battle with the 89, but it's not enough by the time we get to the loop. Here comes Ryan Falkner to the inside and makes a quick, very quick and easy pass over Corbin Dempsey. Riley McKee running in the third position, just passing Corbin Dempsey, tags the wall on the exit of the final corner. Luke Pellerin and Thomas Tucker get there. Stan Gustafson hit the wall hard in the back. Look at that, he was under pressure from Lexi Percy, got off just a little bit, and that was enough to put him on the wall on the exit of turn 7, as Corbin Dempsey comes to the inside of Luke Pellerin, trying to hang on to the position. Not enough, it's not what it has enough. Here comes Corbin Dempsey and Luke Pellerin, still very evenly matched as they hit the S's. And at the exit of the S's, looks like he has the edge up ahead on Thomas Tucker. Luke Pellerin passed him very easily, and Thomas Tucker on the outside. Vernon Hargrove in the back of the field goes off wide, hits the wall hard on the exit of 7, and there he goes. As you see there, everyone passing him. Daxton Ashcroft, Ali Nolan, Carly Allison, the 420 of Creeper Stevenson also there passing him. As Colin Kaiser opening lap number 3, being chased down by Timmy Barton, up in smoke is the number 30, and we have a caution. The 30 will not make it back to the pits. And that is going to be it. Everyone's scrambling to avoid the number 30. That is the first. Oh, there's contact. Scott Overton, Dax Tanashkoff, Ami Tachibana, Carly Allison involved. Creeper Stevenson, Tegan Robertson. What the hell even happened there? We're going to have to look because Scott Overton was missing the 30 of Colin Kaiser, and he got hit by the 53 of Tachibana. And then on a separate incident, Dax Tanashkoff got sent into him. Big contact. And let's see it now from the perspective of Alec Nolan as he just sees the path he was on completely close as Carly Ellison and Tegan Robertson get together. Creeper Stevenson right there as well. And that is his race with a damper very early, racing back to the line. You see Luke Pellerin battling with Riley McKee coming to the inner loop. And it is just about enough for Luke Pellerin to retain the third position, to take the third position from Riley McKee as they come around the outer loop. And you see there how Scott Overton drives away very slowly. A lot of damage on the side and the rear end of the number 62. And then his engine just expires on him. His engine just dies on him, and that's it for his race. Everyone but Charlie Falkner so far actually decided to pit. The reason for it is mainly the tires. Not even actually the rain, just mainly the tires to make sure that the tire consumption is very good because qualifying was a bit messy due to an increased tire consumption, which can be a dynamic we will have to follow throughout the race today. And you see there's not a lot of changes in the running order. As see there only Ashley Richardson and Lee Schmidt swapping positions. And leading the field to the green, Ryan Falkner already sticks it right on the wall on the cold tires. And Charlie Falkner is able to open a quite sizable lead while Luke Pellerin makes the move on the inside of the 89 for the second position. Looks like it will be enough. And Ruby Carson jumped the restart. Has to go to the pits at the conclusion of the 7th lap after the restart. McHenley also jumped the restart. And you're going to see all the graphics. Not the only ones because Creeper Stevenson and Vernon Hargrove also jumped the restart. Have to serve a stop and go. You see there. He stops and then he's already out. And you see there Luke Pellerin already making a move on Charlie Falkner at the start of lap number 8. He dives to the inside. He has a lot of speed. And he carries that speed into the lead as he already clears the 85 before the S's. And new race leader Luke Pellerin, who won this race last year when it was a almost 3-whole-hour affair. Contact there. Lexi Percy, Lucy Martin around. And Brett Finley also involved. Big deal. Big deal there. Lexi Percy got into the back of the 98. Now, Lucy Martin and Brett Finley are trying to get back together. They make contact again. Big crash. Lily Briscoe involved. Going up the S's. What the heck? Let's see what happened there. We ride with Boyd Abbott. He was chasing down the 0-2 Lexi Percy. And Percy got into the back of Martin. Then Abbott got into the back of Percy. And both just wiped the number 1 into the number 15 into turn number 1. You watch it again. So Lexi Percy and Lucy Martin get together before the 99 tags the 0-2, which sends the 0-2 around more dramatically. And they just wipe Brett Finley off. Big contact, but they all get back going. And then there's another contact that we have. Because when they drive away, and you're going to see it as the camera goes back to full speed, Brett Finley's trying to not hit Kendra Brittany, and Lucy Martin tries to make the move. She tags the 15 on the rear, ends up tagging him and the 23, and that's going to warrant an investigation, obviously. And let's ride with Lucy Martin as you see what happened there. She just got sent around. And as you watch her, she just tries to make the move as normal. And when the 15's trying to give space to the rest of the pack, she just tags him and tags the 23 to boot. And Lily Briscoe's also going to have to go to the pits for the damage as well. And problems for Joey Anderson. The engine in the 03 goes up in smoke. And he is going to be done for the day. 9 laps in. A terrible result for one of the drivers that could have been a potential race winner here. The Road Ringer goes off very unfortunately early. Ryan Falkner makes a move on his father as Thomas Tucker took second place. Ryan Falkner is going to take third. Riley McKee is going to try to have a look to take fourth from Charlie Falkner. Charlie Falkner falling and falling quite dramatically now on old tires. While Luke Pellerin and Thomas Tucker by lap number 12 are battling each other for the lead. The gap is not very large. Okay, the gap is not very large, and we have rain approaching, so it's possible this situation does not maintain itself the way it is, but we're gonna have to wait. Now it becomes a very big waiting game, as Ibiki Murata went to the pits to repair some of the damage she got on that first crash, and she's back as she hits the S's, and the leaders are fast approaching as she gets back up to speed, leaving the S's into the back straight away. And by the time they get to the outer loop, Luke Peller is going to have a look on the inside of the 52. And she's going to be very gracious. She's going to leave the space while still maintaining a lot of speed. And there goes Luke Peller into lap the 52, trying to use her as a pick to create a gap between him and Thomas Tucker. And that's going to work. I think she got the message because she stays right in between him and Thomas Tucker. And Luke Peller is going to get a little reprieve as he opens lap 14 as the race leader. However, that's not going to be a long reprieve, but any reprieve is a good reprieve. Running in 17th place is Kendra Brittany, battling with Lexi Percy. Warren Majeski running up there as well inside the top 20. Kendra Brittany goes wide into the wall, and she's going to lose a couple of positions, including her teammates, Tina Whitley and Marcy Crawford. There goes Peter Johnson on the inside as well. By the time we get to lap number 15, the 89 running very solidly there. In the third position, we're already starting getting reports of rain by the time we get to turn number 1. So if there's a time to pit for wet tires, the time should be on the next couple of laps, maybe until lap 16. And Charlie Falkner bites the bullet. He's the first one to pit. Charlie Falkner to the pits for wet tires. He's the first taker. So now he sacrificed his on-track position to get wet tires, and if that works, he's gonna gain them as the race goes on. As you see the rain gaining in intensity, by the time we get to the end of lap 16, Luke Peller and Thomas Tucker still battling. The track is not seemingly wet enough to warrant the use of wet tires yet. They're trying to open as large of a gap as they can, because if they do get to open that gap, then here's the thing, they get to pit and stay first and second. If they pit now, that's not a guarantee. Thomas Tucker makes them on the inside, not enough. Just not enough, but he's battling. He's gonna try to make the move now. Is it gonna be it on the entrance of turn number 1, the 90-degree corner? And Thomas Tucker side by side coming out of the 90-degree corner, and Thomas Tucker is your new race leader. He doesn't have the 88 clear just yet. He does now. He clears the 88 now, and he leads away here in Watkins Glen. It's the rest of the field powering through. Roddy Samples heads into the pits for the wet tires. You see how the track now is really getting wet. It is really getting badly wet. And as they evolve to the field, Ami Tachibana also decides to pit. Carly Ellison decides to pit. You see there Tegan Robertson pitting as well. Not a lot of the leaders going through, but Charlie Faulkner already gaining a few positions just on the virtue of the new tires. Not even just the fact that they're wet tires, just the fact that they're new tires above all. And you see there Ollie Neil Nolan in the modified. A lot of damage on the front end in that big crash earlier during the first caution. So he's having to deal with that. And as the leaders open lap number 18, here comes Becky Peller into the pits. And here comes the rest of them as well. The gap is a little bit larger as the wet weather continues to increase. As the wetness of the track continues to increase. So Rebecca Peller in pits from what would be the 7th position. Behind her, then there's Corbin Dempsey. Caitlin Richler comes in. And behind her should be Ethan Collins and Ben Makowski. And they both come in. You see there the 95, the 1, the 46.26. 34 also in Mega McDonald. Rafaela Molina today on the 96. And that's Timmy Barton in the 97. She also comes in. So far, the 89, 22, 58, and 43 refusing to pit as we are about to end this lap. And as they come in on the end of lap 9, of the end of lap 18, here comes the rest of them. That's the thing though. That's not the whole field. Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin still racing with dry tires on a track that is wet and getting wetter. And the reason is neither of them wants to blink. They are face to face and they're in a staring contest, and neither of them wants to blink. They would rather spin off both than to blink and allow the rest of the field to pass them or each other to pass them. So Thomas Tucker doesn't want to give the lead to Luke Pellerin, and Luke Pellerin doesn't want to concede the lead fully to Thomas Tucker by pitting first. While Charlie Falkner is going to cycle out, look at that, ahead of the 89. Charlie Falkner is now inside the top 5 after pitting first, so that undercut may have worked very well for the driver of the 85. As you see there, how the fog starting to build up, the visibility starting to decrease. It's still very much a workable track, a drivable track, but it looks very bad. It looks very bad. I wouldn't want to be down there. As the 88 chasing down the number 9. Charlie Falkner trying to chase them both down, but the gap is so large. It's around 50 seconds when they pitted. So Charlie Falkner is going to gain a lot when they pit, but we don't know when they will pit. 89 and 58 goes in the top 5. A very good result for Ashley Richardson after finishing in the rear end of the field. I believe she finished last on the last 2 races due to the retirements early because her engine blew up in Flemington and she ended up hitting the 83 at Moss Park. And you see there on lap number 20 to the start of lap 21, that's when Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin both bite the bullet. They come out and they still have the lead. They almost the 98 recovers a lap. She pitted before. And you see there Ben Makowski running further back, goes off wide, hits the tire barrier, spins around, almost gets hit by Kendra Brittany. That could have been dangerous. Ollie Sendell Nolan almost spun out on his own, trying to miss him. Look at that, how loose he gets on the exit of the corner. That could have been a disaster for the driver of the number 8. As you see there, how Thomas Tucker continues to lead. He has Vernon Hargrove bridging the gap between him and Luke Pellerin as they drive through. Charlie Falkner runs in 3rd place, and he has a bit of a cushion over Ryan Falkner and Ashley Richardson, who close out the top 5. By the time we get to lap 22, Riley McKee and Rebecca Pellerin are battling each other for the 6th position, and Becky Pellerin, the defending series champion, goes to take that 6th spot. Charlie Falkner continues to run 3rd, and he now is the one using Vernon Hargrove to bridge the gap. Look at how wide Hargrove goes. I believe that's his 2nd rain race ever. The Modifieds is one of the series that doesn't run road courses in the rain due to the nature of those cars as open wheels. So when there's rain, they actually red flag the race like any other stock car series would have done more traditionally decades ago. As you see there, Vern Hargrove getting lapped by the 58 of Ashley Richardson. He goes a little bit wide. Richardson's going to go through because Becky Pellerin is about to make a move on him as well. And she's chasing down the 58. And Becky Pellerin to the inside of the 58. Is it going to be enough? You ride with a side camo Richardson. And there goes Rebecca Pellerin very easily. And she runs away with the 5th position on lap number 24. And she's chasing down the 89. She gained a lot. That's the battle for 3rd place between her and Ryan Falkner. 2nd place still for 4th place. 3rd place still Charlie Falkner. And Luke Pellerin now stuck between multiple lap cars. He has Ben Makowski, Ami Tachibana, Ollie Nolan, Tegan Robertson between him and Thomas Tucker, and Becky Pellerin makes a double move, and here comes Ashley Richardson, a double whammy for the 3rd and 4th positions. I tend to say that Kate Taylor was the mentor for both Pellerins, and that is a very much truth. The short track veteran for Maryland was a mentor for them on Luke Star Motorsports. He drove for that team on and off when that team was first established in the early 2000s. By Angel Gray, and see there Ryan Falkner, Charlie Falkner pitting. But Ashley Richardson's another mentor and inspiration to Rebecca Pellerin. Richardson was a longtime friend of Angel Gray in this series right around her injury time in 2012. So when Richardson began in 2008, Angel Gray was just finishing up. And so you have there now Thomas Tucker continuing to lead. He has to lap the 16 of Ethan Collins. He's trying to find a line where he can do it. There he goes to the inside of the 16. 16 not giving him a much space, but that does not matter. Thomas Tucker gets it through, while Becky Pellerin and Kendra Brittany about to be lapped, comes in together with Becky Pellerin in 3rd, Ashley Richardson in 4th. So for example, Becky is 21 and Richardson knew her as a child, so you have an idea. And so when Richardson comes back, Becky Pellerin is starting her career and being a very good driver at that, and it was one of the disconnects. Oh, trouble there! Warren Majeski off. I'm gonna have to put a tag on that story for a while because caution is out. Warren Majeski completely loses it at the entrance of the first corner. He locks the brakes badly, goes off full speed, and buries that car in the tires. That is gonna be the second caution of this race. Big incident, and everybody goes to the pits because while this was in the middle of the pit cycle, a lot of cars were lapped by Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin. We now only have 8 cars on the lead lap, which puts Boyd Abbott, who's 9th, in the lifeline position. And then a few of the drivers that already pitted, so Caitlin Richler, Ethan Collins, Athena Whitley, and Kendra Brittany, decide to wave around to recover their laps. So when we get the green flag on lap number 34, on lap number 35, this means that we only have 13 cars running on the lead lap. Becky Pellerin now 3rd. Riley McKee takes 4th in the pits. Together with Lee Schmidt running 5th and Ryan Falkner running 6th. But the 9 and the 88 already opened a little bit of a cushion as they come up for the S's. And Becky Pellerin not having the pace to catch those two. She's just having a good run overall regardless. Actually, just a correction. The 27, the 22, and the 43 hadn't pitted yet. They didn't pit, but the gap between the 9 and the 88 was so big that the 9 and the 88 could have pitted and they would have still come out ahead of the 27 as the field was sorting itself out for the pits. Because that's the thing in the North American Auto Club. Regardless of what happens in the first lap of the caution, you can always pit. So here comes Luke Pellerin on the inside of the number 9 on lap number 37. Is it enough? The conditions continue to deteriorate here in Watkins Glen, but Luke Pellerin is on the 3rd and he takes the lead once again. While the 85 and the 89 take 4th and 5th, and they are distant. They are very much distant. Riley McKee, he is now being chased down by Ashley Richardson. Richardson catching Riley McKee. But you see how the weather's deteriorating. Lily Briscoe, despite the crash fairly early, she picked herself up and she finds herself now in 16th place, just working her way forward through the usage of the pit stops. Boyd Abbott running there in 15th. Tegan Robertson also in a recovery run together with Lily Briscoe, but Robertson is currently in 20th place, while the 96 of Rafaela Molina is right behind her. And I think that we have to mention that we didn't mention in the pre-race, but of course that does come up in the championship itself, is of course the penalty of the 43 of Lee Schmidt, because he hasn't appeared so far during this race. We haven't shown him. He has been docked 15 points and put on probation after that contact under caution with Bobby Savage. They both had a meeting post-race in the officials' hauler, and Bobby Savage, from what we understand, took the blame for it. He says he blocked Schmidt. Schmidt took the blame for it as well. But overall, with the possibility of seeing the data on the cars, the officials saw that Lee Schmidt was to blame and he was penalized after the race. They didn't penalize him during the race because they were already dealing with Charlie Falkner dumping the 16 in the infield. So they were essentially having to deal with a lot of pies and a lot of hands. As you see there, Pellerin and both Falkner spit in, and they are now into the pits, while by lap number 44 of 82, Tucker and Pellerin continue to stay out longer than you would expect them to stay, especially with the increased tire usage on rain tires, and they are about to lap Ami Tachibana. Corbin Dempsey also about to be lapped right there as well. You see there Lee Schmidt. Now we finally get to see Lee Schmidt on track, but he's also about to get lapped. So Corbin Dempsey comes in, Amitachibana comes in. Both were gonna get lapped anyway. They're all just sorting themselves out. Then you see Mega McDonald, Stan Gustafson, Ethan Collins, Lucy Martin, and Rafaela Molina also come in. Then you have there Marcy Crawford, Ollie Nolan, Hibiki Murata, and the 39 of Tegan Robertson. Becky Pellerin continues to run in the 3rd position. Charlie Falkner trying to chase her down, but she's opening a very wide gap. You see how the drivers are going wide. Ruby Carson gets together with Athena Whitley on the exit of the inner loop, and she almost gets hit by other cars. You see there on the front of the field as the caution comes out, Luke Pellerin decides to come in. The pits weren't closed just yet, and Thomas Tucker does the same, so they get the pit, and then the yellow gets displayed. And not just because of this incident, you're gonna see it as we are now under caution. They were already in when the caution came out. You're gonna see what happens because a little further behind, Vernon Hargrove also goes around on the inner loop. He hit a weeper right there, and that's where the car went. Boyd Abbott goes around as well, and as Vernon Hargrove's trying to drive away, Boyd Abbott just runs straight into the rear of the number 28. I believe he just could not see the 28. Ollie Nolan also goes around. We're not done. Tegan Robertson, Carly Allison, Hibiki Murata on the inner loop on the new tires, and a little bit further forward, even from a Tenna Whitley's crash, Marcy Crawford hits the wall very hard on the exit of the outer loop, and that's why we are now under caution. Multiple incidents happening at the same time in the inner loop and the outer loop. You ride with Carly Ellison as she comes into the inner loop, loses control, hits Tegan Robertson. Robertson goes around, and she goes around, and you ride now with Tegan Robertson. As you see there, she went into the grass, that wet grass, to call the grip from the 39 car, and she tags the number 20 as the 20 tagged her. And let's see what happened with Boyd Abbott. Abbott goes around, and as he slides off, he tries to get it back together. I don't know. I believe the spotters were not able to communicate to him. He drove straight into the 28. He just drove straight. I don't think he saw enough to steer away. As you see here, Luke Pellerin continues to lead the way with Thomas Tucker right behind him, and then Becky Pellerin running in 3rd place, the Falkners 4th and 5th. 6th places, Riley McKee. As we had mentioned about the Legacy Cup, so far the result still means that Charlie Falkner would be winning the Legacy Cup by finishing ahead of Riley McKee. The green flag is out, and Luke Pellerin is leading. McKee is trying to pass Ryan and trying to catch Charlie, and he's trying to open as many positions as he can on Charlie Falkner as Luke Pellerin goes wide on the 90-degree corner. And coming up to the S's, Thomas Tucker already opens a large gap. And thankfully, the rain's starting to ease up compared to the storm that was going on over the last long while. So we're hopefully starting to get a dry line going. We're gonna get a little bit of better racing for these final 33 laps as they come through the inner loop. Thomas Tucker now very much protected in the lead of the race. As they round out the outer loop, you see there the 88, the 27 running 2nd and 3rd, and then the 85 and 89 running 4th and 5th. Ryan McKee losing ground. And yeah, Dex Lee Schmidt running in 7th place, having a very surprising anonymous run so far, using the pit stops in his favor. He was able to stay stable in the position he was, but not only that, he was able to stay on the lead lap, which I think it's more important now as the runs continue. And Thomas Tucker wide into the wall at the end of lap 51, and Luke Pellerin and Becky Pellerin take the top 2 positions. Charlie Falkner takes 3rd place, and Ryan Falkner is gonna be with a chance of taking 4th place from him as they dive into turn number 1. Charlie Falkner makes a move on Becky Pellerin, and Ryan Falkner is gonna take the 4th spot. Charlie Falkner is gonna take 2nd. Charlie Falkner doing everything he can to win the $2 million in the Summer Series. Of course, embiggening his championship lead as well. Tegan Robertson and the 16 of Ethan Collins both jump the restart, have to serve a stop and go. And then you have the 23 and the 52. The 23 is actually trying a tire and fuel undercut. The 52 also jumped the restart. So Lily Briscoe trying to figure out something there, a strategy that we haven't seen so far. If it works, she might gain quite a few positions. Ben Makowski wide into the wall, gets struck by Peter Johnson. That's the 2nd time Ben Makowski goes wide in that section of the track, and that is another massive moment for the driver of the 66, who has been doing pretty well for Ashcroft Family Racing, but in the rain's the great equalizer. Everybody drives badly in the rain. Luke Pellerin running in 1st. Charlie Falkner now chasing him down bumper to bumper. Becky Pellerin running right behind him. This is a very close quarters battle. Charlie Falkner right behind him, and Ryan Falkner and Thomas Tucker continue to battle as they cross the start-finish line to open lap number 56. Lap 56 has been opened, and Charlie Falkner is gonna make a dive, and it's gonna be an easy does it. He passes for the lead. Becky tries to find space to make the move right there, does not quite do it. As you see there, Lexi Percy back on track after pitting as well, and Becky Pellerin's gonna take second place and it's gonna start chasing down the 86. And a little bit further ahead, 17th place is Stan Gustafsson, about to be lapped. He goes wide and he spins and slides around, and Charlie Falkner cannot dodge him. And Becky Pellerin hits the 95, and your top two has just eliminated themselves off a lapped car. What has been these last few weeks? Let's ride together with Charlie Falkner. He rides, he tries the outside, and then I don't know why. I guess he got some wheel spin because he steered directly into the path of the 95. That is a lot of front end damage he's done, and who's also done is Becky Pellerin. She was gonna dodge the 95 until the 85 hit him, and Stan Gustafsson was projected right in front of the 27. Now the championship leader and the defending series champion are both eliminated on lap 56, and that puts Luke Pellerin in the lead. He finds himself in a perfect position. This is the perfect storm. You see how the 85 is very slow on track, a lot of damage, and he's done. He's done. So much damage on the front of the 85. You see the 27 limping around. This is gonna put Ryan Falkner in second, and everybody just comes into the pits. Why wouldn't they? Honestly, why wouldn't they? Lexi Percy stays out. She's gonna do a wave around because she had just pitted. And Ashley Richardson, as the weather's drying, the rain is easing up. The rain's actually gonna end during this period of caution. Ashley Richardson's actually gonna try a strategy. As the asphalt isn't sufficiently dry yet, she's gonna try to drive a couple of laps on those rain tires before the restart to see what she can do. And the green flag is out, and Ashley Richardson leads the field to the green. She gets the bonus points, which I think it's the more important matter for her. 5 points can mean a lot. And as you see there, on new tires, new dry weather tires, Luke Pellerin already makes the move, and he makes it look easy. The asphalt's still a little damp, but it's not wet. It is not a full wet track, so it's a very good thing for the number 58 that she stays out on the rain tires. It gives her some grip, but the problem is with new tires, the 26, the 77, and the 89 are chasing down. Also, sorry for my confusion, but no, they are still using the rain tires. The asphalt's still wet, but it's not wet as much as before. Richardson actually is gonna try her move to do it this time around. She's gonna use the tire degradation in her favor, and she's gonna go into the pits, get a new set of tires, and see what she can do with it. You see there the 8 of Alessandro Nolan going around, gets hit by Ben Makowski. Liddy Briscoe almost bumps him up. Rafael Molina into the pits, and Mega McDonald strikes the number 8 very heavily, trying to miss him. And that is another car eliminated with a lot of front end damage. Big contact on the number 60. On the number 8 on lap number 60. And you see there the 34 limping. She's done. And you see how Luke Pellerin continues to lead as the asphalt's continuing to dry. He's starting to get a little more grip. He's still sliding quite wildly. You see how the cars are sliding on corner exits, but it's not enough yet. And you see there how Tucker is gonna catch Pellerin by the start of lap number 63. Ryan Falkner giving him chase. And on the inside of the 90-degree corner, turn number 1, side by side. 9 has the edge as they come up to the S's, and Tucker about to clear the 88. They're still side by side. Falkner in close vicinity, and as they slide off the S's, Tucker's gonna have a much quicker launch, and by the time they get to the back straightaway, Thomas Tucker is your new race leader once again. And at this point, by this point with 20 laps to go, we really do have a dry line formed up. We really are starting to get a much more grip. Riley McKee, with the current result, finds himself in 7th place, and now he finds himself really alive on the Fay Legacy, the Summer Series. I keep confusing both because they're both contested in the summer, but the Summer Series now Riley McKee finds himself in a position to be able to challenge Charlie Falkner for it. Likewise, Thomas Tucker, due to the fact that Charlie Falkner is not gonna complete this race. And Ashley Richardson, currently now in 10th after pitting, is now the fastest car on track. Riley McKee has a bunch of lap cars to deal with. The 20, the 7, the 66, as he sorts his way around, trying to find a path there, as Ben Makowski's gonna dive deep on the corner. He hits the wall, gets tagged by Riley McKee. Trouble for the 22, not a lot of damage, but a lot of speed loss. You see the damage on the hood of the 22 Canadian Tire car. McKee very much not happy under the helmet, but at the very least, he's still inside the top 10. He's still one of the few cars on the lead lap. At this point, at lap 65, Ryan Falkner chasing down Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin. Those three could stand to gain a lot of points for the championship if the results stand the way they are, and that would help them immensely to gain a few points on Charlie, given how many points Charlie Falkner opened on the rest of the field. And you see there how Lucy Barton and Lexi Percy changed the dry tires. Now, whoa! Lucy Barton merged back in a wild move, almost wiped out the 89, as Luke Pellerin on the inside as they come out of the SS4D back straightaway. And now Luke Pellerin has the edge, and he has the preferred line coming into the inner loop as they are still side by side. Ryan Falkner trying to have a look there, and he's hoping that those two also wipe themselves off the lead, because then it's all swimmingly for Ryan Falkner. He has ran pretty well today. Let's take a second look, a replay on that move by Lucy Barton. You see Lucy Barton merging, Ryan Falkner trying to chase down the 9 and the 88, and that was a very scary move for the driver of the 89. He was trying to chase down the top two. You watch again from the perspective of Lucy Barton. For her, I don't think she even spotted him, and then she just panicked and swiped right back into the grass, almost spun off in the S's. That could have been much more dangerous than it is. And problems for Kendra Brittany from 5th place. The engine on the number 26 expires, and Kendra Brittany out of a fantastic position, a position that was gonna put her in the fight for the rookie challenge much closer. Whoa! She tries to slide out of the way, almost wipes out the 20 and the 7 and the 8, but now she's gonna be able to drive back to the pits. No caution as of now. And you see there, you ride with the number 7 and the 20 as they scramble to miss the number 20. And in the back of the field, Ben Makowski's no good, terrible, completely disastrous race. Once again, he finds himself spinning on the wall. Ethan Collins strikes the 66. And now all 4 neat cars are done for the day in very quick succession. The last caution was the 06 and the 46 retiring, and now Ethan Collins retires due to a crash, and the 26 of Kendra Brittany retires from a top 5 position due to engine failure. And remember, the battle for the lead is still ongoing. By lap 67, you see there the 88, the 9, and the 89 continue to battle. You watch it from bird's eye view. Falkner has a look on the inside of the inner loop to go for 2nd place, but it's not enough. Luke Pellerin gets a fantastic launch, and he challenges forward, and Ben Makowski's gonna stop on track. That car got a lot of damage on the fuel cell. The fuel cell ruptured, and that is gonna cause the 5th caution of the race as he slows to a crawl, and that is extremely dangerous, so the officials make the call. And you see there how slow he is. You see how everybody's sorting themselves out. The pace car is gonna pick up the leaders. It's still gonna be Thomas Tucker, Luke Pellerin, and Ryan Falkner running pretty well. Everyone having a very solid run so far. Ronnie Samples also figuring himself out. And now the leaders, with only 13 laps to go, are all gonna come into the pits for new dry weather tires after using the wet tires while the track was dampening down back to a completely dry status. Well, at least the racing line would be completely dried, so don't worry. We're not saying the track's still dry. We're not saying the rain didn't happen. But with dry tires and a dry racing line, we are now having Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin eye to eye with Ryan Falkner with only 11 laps to go. The green flag is out. Is an 11-lap trophy dash for the win. And you see there, Ashley Richardson now up to 5th place with Ruby Carson running in 4th. That's how much Ashley Richardson climbed with the newer tires. As you see there, Lexi Percy in the back of the field running in 15th place with Ami Tachibana. Tachibana drives, overdrives the inner loop, hits the O2, and there goes Mac Henley to join them in a big contact in the inner loop. While in the front of the field, Thomas Tucker continues to lead over Luke Pellerin, rounding out the final corner. They are nose to tail, and there you see there in 6th place is Lee Schmidt, 7th place Riley McKee, still keeping the 7th position, while Thomas Tucker continues to lead with now 10 laps to go. You watch as Ruby Carson continues to catch the 89. She got dumped unceremoniously by Thomas Carter last week, and that damaged her car immensely. She ended up not finishing. I don't think she finished the race at Flemington. I would have to check that again. While Lily Briscoe, remember how I told her she did an undercut with Hibiki Murata? Lily Briscoe is now up to 8th place on that undercut, and she's now not only on the lead lap, but she's gonna knock out a top 10 if things stay the way they are, because 9th place in the last car on the lead lap right now is Caitlin Richler, hanging on with the lap cars. A lot of damage in the number 2. She's just hanging about, surviving the mess that the rain proportionated to her. While the front end of the field with 7 laps to go, Thomas Tucker now goes wide. Luke Pellerin sees the chance for the opportunity to make the pass at the exit of the inner loop, and going through the outer loop, Luke Pellerin on the outside and around the outside. The 88 tries to make the move for the lead, but it's not enough. Thomas Tucker keeping it side by side as they chase down the 53 of Ami Tachibana. It's a very close battle, and there goes Luke Pellerin for the lead. He clears the number 9 as they come out in towards the final corner, out of corner number 6. Luke Pellerin continues to lead as they are about to lap the 5-3 out of turn number 7. The 5-3 very slow, keeping herself on the same line, and there goes Luke Pellerin for the lead. He leads as we open the last 6 laps of the race, but not much later, around 30 seconds later, as you see there, Thomas Tucker is going to try to make the move on the inside of the inner loop. This time Tucker has the preferred line. Luke Pellerin is going to try to defend on the outside, and now he's going to have the inside, and now Tucker is going to have the outside again, and Tucker is going to make the move on the inside of the inner loop, and Thomas Tucker retakes the lead. And Ryan Falkner right there. These 3 are under a blanket fighting for the win, close side by side. And now they're about to lap the 18 of Mac Henley by the next lap. Henley also keeping the line, as Thomas Tucker now is going to be the one lapping the 18, lapping the slower car, being chased down by the 88. This is very close quarters racing, and now Tucker leads away, and Ryan Faulkner loses a lot of time. He ends up catching the 18 too late, and this is going to mean Tucker and Luke Pellerin are going to open quite a bit of a gap for the time being, but Ryan Faulkner is going to do his damnedest to catch back for the leaders. While a little bit further back with 3 laps to go, Ruby Carson continues to hold the 4th position together with Ashley Richardson. Those 2 are pulling out a fantastic result for short trackers, surviving all the trouble, surviving the rain, surviving the weather, surviving the crashes, surviving just about everything that the world threw at them. Lily Briscoe's undercut technically fails because she has to pit for a splash of fuel at the conclusion of lap number 80, coming to 2 laps to go. However, she is so far ahead of Caitlin Richler, she's gonna keep the 8th position because Richler is gonna cross the start-finish line now, and Lily Briscoe is already in the back straightaway. This is how far Caitlin Richler has been driving her damaged little machine, but surviving and getting a very important top 10 together with Riley McKee. As they round out, yes, Rafael Molina, actually that's Creeper Stevenson, the dark red car, as Lucy Barton's about to be lapped with 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag. White flag is in the air. Thomas Tucker makes the move on the inside, and Luke Pellerin's already gonna bail to the inside as well. Is he gonna have space? Is he gonna have time? As there you see, coming to the turn number 1, the 90-degree corner, and slowing down one of the slowest braking points in this track, and Thomas Tucker holds the lead. He hangs on as they come up to the S's, and Ryan Faulkner is now gonna be stuck in between Barton and Pellerin, and Tucker are gonna fight for the win amongst themselves as they round out into the back straightaway. Tucker continues to lead and hang on to the lead as Ryan Faulkner is gonna try to round through the 98, but he's gonna be way too far to commit a dent on the 88 and the 9 as they come around to turn number 6. This is gonna be the last opportunity for Luke Pellerin as they round out turn number 6, coming to turn number 7. Thomas Tucker is gonna hang on, and he is gonna round out the final corner with a nose ahead on Luke Pellerin, and Thomas Tucker is gonna win his 2nd race of 2018. Well, this was a bit of a messy proposition. Very fun race, very messy race. Thomas Tucker wins in a road course again. Last year's winner, Luke Pellerin, has to settle for second. Ryan Falkner finishes third in close vicinity to them, but far behind Ruby Carson, Ashley Richardson, two big surprises inside the top 5. Lee Schmidt, big surprise in 6th. Riley McKee survived a lot of trouble. Lily Briscoe and Caitlin Richler pulled tire strategy coups to end up inside the top 10 and as the last cars on the lead lap. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Carly Ellison does finish inside the top 10 in a survival race, but she also doesn't finish even one lap down. She finishes 2 laps down. Because that's what the rain did. That's what the crazy strategies we had did. The field was so spread out that it was super easy for Tucker, Pellerin, Falkner when he was running, Becky Pellerin when she was running, for them to lap these drivers and put a lot of the field 1 lap down and then 2 laps down, especially after the race got going again and the conditions deteriorated. A lot of people just got very slow in order to not crash, and thankfully, we did not have a lot of crashing compared to how rain races can be messy. However, let's focus on the championship because this result upends a lot of stuff, and that's why we expand to the top 20. Because here's the thing. We remain with only 5 mathematical contenders so far, but Charlie Falkner failing to finish and Becky Pellerin failing to finish hurt them a lot. Luke Pellerin is 23 points behind Charlie Falkner. Last week at Flemington, he was 190 points behind Charlie Falkner. This is what failing to finish can do to one's championship. This is the damage that you can take. Ryan Falkner jumps to 3rd place. He gains 2 positions in relation to last weekend. He was in 5th. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is that he gained 99 points. He was 226 behind. He's now 127 behind. It's still a big distance considering how many races we have left. But the momentum has shifted considerably. Thomas Tucker does not gain a lot of points from 157 to 150 with this win, but it's mostly because he did not get all the bonus points he needed to get, and that really hurt him because he also didn't get the qualifying bonuses that Charlie Falkner did, which means that he had to run catch up, and any point he gains is a point gained. Doesn't matter how many you gain, it just matters that you make up the gap. That's the same situation where Rebecca Pellerin is. She lost a lot of points. She lost 90 points. To be more exact, 91. From 84 behind to 175 behind. But she's still mathematically eligible. She's still in the hunt. As you look at the rest of the top 20, Corbin Dempsey right now seems to be the only driver that can join contendership unless Lucy Martin and Riley McKee pull a miraculous rally, and Lee Schmidt and Mac Henley, I would argue, not even just pull a miraculous rally, they would have to use the holy hand grenade so they could win this title. And you see at the rest of the top 10, of course, 2 rookies inside the top 15. Demi Martin and Kendra Brittany, very good results. Megan McDonald, she has been very much quiet throughout this championship, but because she has been quiet, she has been unassuming, not getting those crazy good results that we know Ernest was Racing can get because Lee Schmidt won at Carbondale this year. She has been very anonymous, but blink and you miss her. She's in 16th. She's ahead of Ruby Carson, even considering Ruby Carson's 50-point penalty. Carson would not catch Megan McDonald even if she got those 50 points back. Scott Overton having a very solid run there in 18th. Hibiki Murata as well. Peter Johnson with his win in Las Vegas. He got very well inside the top 20 and he's holding himself in there. He's fighting for the position. He's hanging on. Boyd Abbott, you see there in 12th. Caitlin Richler having a very solid championship, very honest championship run there in 11th place. And Ashley Richardson in her first full-time season back, 14th place. Honestly, so far, what has been lacking for her is a win, and if things go well, she's getting closer and closer. Another top 5 on her account this time. Now let's take a look first. Okay, first we're gonna look at the rookie challenge, because Timmy Barton gained a little bit over Kendra Brittany. Kendra Brittany started this race with a 20.2 average. She leaves with a 20.3. Tammy Barton entered this race with a 17.0 average. She leaves with a 16.88. Joey Anderson lost a lot, from a 21.18 to a 22. Craig McLean didn't start, keeps the same average. Ben Makowski loses a little bit too, from 22.8 to 23.09. Marcy Crawford also loses quite a bit. Warren Majeski loses 2/10 on his average. Saul Pritchett is just around there, suffering. And Brendan Masner, his score stays the same, but he's having a season. He's not having a very good coming out party in the North American Auto Club. His average has been it has been a poor average. He stays with 25.20, but it's just not been a good season so far. Warren Majeski with a 25.38, and Brendan Mesner with a 25.75 still has yet to make his fifth start. Vernon Hargrove not having a good time at all. Colin Kaiser finishing last put Vernon Hargrove back in the top 10, but this has been a very difficult season for the driver of the 28. With the lawsuit now between S2 Motorsports and Sensum Automotive, we hope that will take a lot of the burden from his back, and he's gonna try to get loose again and try to get the morale up in that team. But it's gonna take a while before we see the results. Before we look at the other standings that we have, because those have actually a very, very, very high degree of importance, let's just take a quick look at the owner standings, because not a lot changes actually again. But what changes are the gaps. Expansion Motorsports was very safe. They get even safer. The 69 was 48 to the good. It's now 95 to the good. Simple Sports, Ronnie Samples, was 29 to the good. He's now 79 to the good, a 50-point gain. The number 7 is looking like we'll have a guaranteed berth next year. Zach Tech lost the position because Joey Anderson was involved in quite a bit of trouble and did not finish the race because the engine failed on him, but he actually gained a single point over Brett Finley, so that means something. While Brett Finley continues to get even safer because CJK Racing was 95 to the back. Kristen Young put the 33 car in 25th place, but she didn't gain a lot of points. She actually lost. She net lost 6 points. She was 95 to the good, to the bad. She's now 101 to the bad. Lookstar Motorsports, the 25 Kate Taylor, was 79 to the bad, now 103 to the bad. Warren Majeski on the number 1 gained 2 points. The Zach Tech 30 lost 3 points. So despite everything going wrong for Colin Kaiser very early, not a lot changed. Vernon Hargrove gained some 20 points around that. So he's gaining a little by little, but if he gains at that pace, he's just not gonna catch in time. While the triple squad of the O2, after Thomas Culler having his second place finish at Flemington, Emily Pauvin and Lexi Percy, the true road course specialists in that car. Pauvin racing the Canadian events, all of them including the ovals, and Percy running the road course races, are putting that car inside the top 30. So a very, very honestly solid run by the O2 car, a car that is not running the full season. Now, I teased you enough. Let's take a look at the Summer Series standings coming to the final of 15 races. On Labor Day weekend at Pocono, there are 3 contenders. Charlie Falkner leads with 443 points. Riley McKee chases him 25 points behind. He gained a lot today. And Thomas Tucker joins contendership 36 points behind. Riley McKee must finish 26 positions ahead of Charlie Falkner. Thomas Tucker must finish 37 positions ahead of Charlie Faulkner. because in the Summer Series there are no bonus points for pole position, there are no bonus points for leading a lap, there are no bonus points for leading the most laps. It is only the positions. The winner gets 40, last place gets 1 point per position. So Charlie Falkner is in a very good position, but even the best ones can falter. And the next track doesn't get its nickname because they take it easy. The North American Auto Club will close the Primetime Network Summer Series and the Fay Legacy Cup with the final throwback race of 2018, the HMS Service and Maintenance 300 at the tricky triangle of Pocono Raceway in the Pocono Mountains up there in Pennsylvania. See you next time.